Hello everybody, welcome. In this video we are going to talk about Venus in Scorpio. We are going to discuss what exactly is Venus, what sort of opportunities does Scorpio energy represent for us, and we are going to also go through dates and aspects that Venus is going to make to all the other planets while going through Scorpio over the course of the next 3 weeks. And in the end, I'm going to mention some recommendations on how to utilize this energy to the highest benefit of all, hopefully. But yes. So let's start with talking about what exactly is Venus. So Venus in astrology archetypically represents our heart. It represents this part of ourselves which is responsible for attracting whatever we think we are worthy of into our life. And that goes for money, that goes for relationship, that goes for friendships, that goes for social environment, that goes for lifestyle, you know, everything. When they talk about manifestation, they are talking mostly about Venus. Venus is this channel, this heart channel through which we create basically our environment as co-creators of this reality. And this is why it is really, I think from my perspective, my opinion is that it is really crucial to understand how Venus works and to actually work with all the distortions that we have on the level of self-esteem, because Venus is this reflection, like the level of abundance and prosperity that we have in our life. This is the reflection of our own understanding of what we are worthy of. So while being in Scorpio, Venus actually gives us this magnificent, very beautiful chance to do some shadow work on our own beliefs about who we are and what we deserve, and to come back to the truth of it, which is that you are an infinite being, full of sun, like a sunshine, full of unconditional love, and you deserve all the best things in life, and you deserve all the unconditional love, all the prosperity and abundance which is possible. And universe is actually filled with that. Universe has endless, infinite amount of this to give. It just comes down to how much are you able to accept. And yes, exactly, this is the beliefs about our own self-worth which allow or don't allow us to accept this abundance and prosperity to a certain extent, right? And now let's talk a little bit about Scorpio, right? So while going through Scorpio, Venus will give us this opportunity to transform our beliefs from the distorted and dark ones into the light ones, into the beliefs that would allow us to let more of this abundance, prosperity, love in relationship and social surroundings, in beauty and lifestyle to flow into our life. So what is this magical Scorpio territory, right? Like Scorpio energy is actually traditionally in astrology is said to represent all the dark things. But when we look at it from the perspective of evolutionary astrology, all that actually is a transformation of low vibrational into higher vibrational. So Scorpio energy is a way or an opportunity, a certain type of energy which allows us to take those parts of ourselves that we don't want to look at and to transform them into something beautiful, transform them basically back into love, right? Because like, what is darkness? Darkness is energy which forgot that it is light, that forgot that it is love. And for us, there are just parts of ourselves that for whatever reason, social conditioning or family history or our own distorted beliefs, or which sometimes are just a consequence of trauma, we forget about our true nature, and we think that there are parts of ourselves that we should feel negatively about, right? And then we hide these parts, and then we try to put them, sweep them under the carpet and never to look at them again, and hide from them and run away from them. But the point is that energy is just energy. And this is exactly the way how we split ourselves in parts and pieces, and we lose some of our power. So our job is actually to open all of those chests with skeletons and look under the rug and get all of those pieces of ourselves that we don't like or we don't want to look at, and to look at them with love, to look at them with compassion, to look at them with empathy, and to integrate them back into our system, to give them a new meaning, to give them a new job, let's put it this way, and to make sure that they are integrated properly. So this is exactly what Venus going through, and Venus going through Scorpio, right? This is, we can do that on a level of our heart. We can look into our hearts, and we can find the parts and bits of it which we really didn't want to look at for whatever reason, and we thought that they were bad. Yeah, let's put it this way. Let's just say bad. But in the end, this is just energy, and it is our job as co-creators of this reality, as creators of our own space, our own world, to unify all the pieces of ourselves back into ourselves. So what does that mean exactly, and how exactly could that look like? Let's talk about it in the transit and dates. But before we jump to that, I would like to mention something which is, from my perspective, is really, really important. Like, at the same time when Venus is moving into Scorpio, which means that our heart is about to go deep transformation over the next 3 weeks, and there is some shadow work ahead on the level of our values, on the level of our heart, right, of our how worthy I am. At the same time, today, exactly at the moment when Venus is moving into Scorpio, or hitting the 0 degree of the Scorpio zodiac sign, Moon is conjunct Black Moon. So just a couple of words on what exactly is Moon and what exactly is Black Moon. They are conjunct in Virgo, sign of Virgo. So Moon is our subconsciousness, right? And it represents all of our habits, all of our automated programs, like something that we don't realize about ourselves anymore, and it is just there. And Black Moon represents all the distortions of our understanding of ourselves, right? Like every time when we misunderstand who we are, or we believe someone who just projects their own understanding onto us and puts labels on us. But you know, if someone tells me that I'm a raccoon, I'm not gonna believe that, because like I know I'm not a raccoon. I'm just probably gonna laugh, and it's not gonna influence me at all. But if someone tells me that I am a, I don't know, like a liar, for example, right? I'm gonna go back into myself, and I'm gonna think whether or not this is true. So I'm not gonna just laugh and swap that away. I will have, and maybe if someone says something even more, and if they energetically have a power to imprint, right? If they have authority over us, if they have a big meaning in our life, if we are really attached to these people, then we will be imprinted and we will be labeled, and we probably are going to believe, like, if my mother says that I am this and that, probably I am. This is how our subconscious works. This is how, especially when we are children, when we are still not formed and can't really reflect that, and can't really, send that back to say like, I'm not a raccoon, I'm sorry, but this is like your own thing. It sounds like a you problem. your opinion about me is none of my business. But when we are actually, or maybe we are in a more impressionable state of mind, like when we are, I don't know, going through grief, or we are like in a bad place in our life, we can take these labels onto ourselves, and sometimes they stick for life, and this exactly are, but at the same time, we are the creators of our life, and it is in our power whether or not we are going to accept that label. And when we grow up, we realize that, and sometimes, or hopefully most of the times, we can really get rid of those, right? And this is exactly what shadow work is for. And Black Moon is also belonging to the territory of the shadow work, just like Scorpio. It represents a little bit of a different thing. Black Moon represents this part of ourselves which we gave away because we were too scared that we can't control it, or we can't really use it for good, that we could misuse it or something like that. And this is what Black Moon represents. This is why it's very often connected to like black magic distortions for people, because what exactly is black magic is when we are using the knowledge, or we are using the power in order to submit other people's will, or to manipulate other people against their will, right? So as long as we are trying to manipulate the world around us according to our egoistic needs, we are doing something which is against the source, against the universe. So basically, Black Moon is a part, and all of us have this Black Moon in our birth charts, right? And this is a part of ourselves where we give away our power in order to, maybe about the Black Moon I need to do like a separate video. Let me know in the comments if you are curious about that. I can talk about that a bit more in a separate video, which is just about this, right? Because it's a lot of information maybe at the same time. And what I was trying to say, that in this particular combination right now, when our heart is about to go through transformation, I thought this was really important to mention, that at the same time we can take care of our distorted habits, right? Black Moon distortions, moon habits, they are conjunct in Virgo. So distortions about our habits on a topic of our lifestyle, exactly, because Virgo is this zodiac sign which represents our life. If you would imagine your life to be a factory which has a lot of different departments, but each and every department is doing their own thing, right? Accounting is doing one thing, processing another thing, deliveries doing another thing, and everybody is like working on something. There may be like a invention part, okay, but all of them are working together to create one product, which is your life, right? So this is the Virgo territory. And over there, of course, we can, like in our daily routines, regimes, in all these tiny little steps that we are doing throughout the day in order to achieve main goals in our life, what we see as our goals in our life. Of course, we can have habits. We do have habits, a lot of us, and of course some of those habits are distorted because they are based on our distorted beliefs about who we are, about ourselves. So basically, right now, over the course of the next 3 weeks, we have a chance through our heart to transform those distorted beliefs and habits about ourselves, which are not allowing us to have our life the way we want it. I think it is really important to seriously look at the daily routines, maybe now when we are just entering this, right? To think about it from such a perspective, like, how does my heart feel about that? And when you see that somewhere there is some negative feeling, like you are sad about some of your routines, or you are not happy with how your days are falling into weeks, and weeks are falling into months, and months are falling into years, and maybe things are just looping, you know, and you're going through the same stuff over and over again, even though some change would be great. Yeah, by the way, if some change would be great. Like, this winter solstice is actually a massive thing to shift things about the looping situations. And if you want all the best things to come for you in 2024, this winter solstice is a great time to shift out of this kind of like repetitive things are happening again and again. I'm making a group gathering. I'll put a link in the description so you can find all the contacts there. All right, so coming back to that, over the course of the next 3 weeks, we have a chance at shifting our distortions, our distorted habits around our routines and regimes, in order to have a happier, more abundant, and more prosperous life. And this is going to be much more achievable if you are going in consciously, if you're going in willingly, if you go in with a clear understanding of what it is exactly you would like to shift. But even if not, if you just pay attention along the way, you still can get a lot of benefit. And let's talk about like what it is exactly that one needs to pay attention to. So while transiting the Scorpio, right, Venus is going to make aspects to different planets. And this, when we look at that, we can always see what exactly is going to happen, like what the course of events is going to be day by day, right? So I'm going to describe this and all right, so what is going to happen, right? First of all, 5th to 7th, Venus is going to be trine Saturn in Pisces, which basically means that all of us, especially if you're doing this consciously, especially if you're doing this willingly, you're like deciding, okay, I can't have the same thing happening over and over again to me. You know, like my heart hurts because of how my daily routines and my habits are reflecting back to me distorted vision of who I am. And this 3 days, 5th, the 6th and 7th, it is a good time to just make this decision. Okay, I want to change that. I am ready that some of the things, some of the insights, some of these realizations, maybe are going to be painful, and maybe I will have to look in the face of what I actually did to myself by myself. You know, like it all sounds so dramatic, but like when we are okay, let me clear up what I mean. When we are not trying to fight the reality, but we are just accepting that everything that's happening to us is happening actually for us, and that some things, even though painful, are actually necessary, and the most important fact that we are here to experience the whole spectrum of emotions. Yes, when we see it from this sort of perspective and we think about how abundant this life is, how much of everything we can explore highs, we can explore lows, we can explore this, we can go here, we can go there. It shifts something in our perception, and it allows us to get into this position of here and now, where we don't have to take this victim role anymore. And this is crucial in trying to become the co-creator of your reality, or even, you know, like you are the co-creator of your reality. It's just that whether or not you are doing this consciously. Are you doing this consciously? So in order to start doing it consciously, we need to stop thinking that we are the victim of things that are happening to us. We need to start thinking that I did that, not in order to blame myself or to be hard on myself, but in order to actually understand that if I did that, I can also shift that, I can also change that, I can also do something else, you know? So this 3 days, 5th, 6th and 7th, that will be 3 days when we need to consciously make a decision. Okay, maybe this next 3 weeks are going to be transformational, but I am going in there willingly, and I want to see which parts of myself are still to be integrated, to be loved, to be brought into the light in order for me to have the abundant and prosperous life that I always wanted to have, that I'm meant to have. Okay, so on the 9th, the Venus is going to be conjunct Moon in Scorpio, and or Moon is going to be joining Venus, which is traveling through Scorpio. Right, and they are going to be in opposition to Jupiter retrograde in Taurus, which again, this is going to be the moment when heart shows which habits exactly need to transform to get to new values, prosperity and abundance. Which means that probably on the 9th, something is going to be happening, right? Just monitor, just record everything that's happening on the 9th of December and see what does your heart tell you about this routines, this all the little steps throughout the day, like where your heart is saying yes and where is your heart is saying no, right? Where is it exactly where you feel the expansion and you feel like, wow, this feels so good, and where exactly where you feel the contraction and you feel like, wow, that's bad, that's like really painful and hurtful. So notice those things which are painful and hurtful and try to understand which of your values brought that in. What is it exactly that you believe about yourself that made this possible to exist in your life? Write them down. This is not the end, just first steps, right? Then on the 10th and 11th, Venus is going to be sextile to Black Moon in Virgo. This is going to be 2 days of the main work, like 2 days. We're also going to have something on the 20th, 22nd, around the winter solstice exactly. But this is going to be the, let's say, the main work days, right? There's 2 days of 10th and 11th. So on this day, again, we need to be creative to transform our fears. Fears which come in with the Black Moon, they usually feel like a very intense emotional reaction. They usually feel like something that shakes you. And in these moments, it's of course not very easy to just step back and, you know, take a hold of yourself and to say something like, okay, what is this? I need to like reflect that. But at the same time, in my personal experience, I feel like going into the area of mythology very often kind of helps us psychologically to get into the space, into the right space to do so, right? So Black Moon archetypically is the Baba Yaga of all the Russian fairy tales. And I mean, being Russian, I kind of know that, but if you're not, then any sort of fairy tale where you have this witchy old lady who lives in the forest alone, who has like black cats and who can fly in the sky in the night, you know, and all these other things. This is the Black Moon. And on one hand, it is archetype which carries sort of darkness with it, but on the other hand, if you remember every fairy tale that ever was there, we remember how do we treat this older witchy lady who lives in the forest, right? When we go there to get something from her, and I mean, we never go there just because we would like to have a fun walk, right? We always go there because we really, really need to. And trust me, like, you need to look at these places of yourself in order to move into the 2024 with like on a new vibrational level, right? And I mean, it's always good to do that. It's not just about 2024 or whatever, ever, any other year. It's always good to look at the shadows of ourselves and to reintegrate them into the system. To remember again that you are worthy of love. To remember again that no matter what you did, no matter what happened, no matter if you choose so, you can have a more enlightened and kinder, healthier, happier, and more abundant life. But for that, you need to really decide to do that. And to really help us shift into this, right, is like to look at our pieces of ourselves with love. This is what called in Christianity, let's say, forgiveness or repentance, right? Like but it is not so much about guilt, because Christianity really likes the guilt thing, right? But like in evolutionary astrology, it's not so much about guilt. It's more about just looking at it and saying, okay, I see you, this is what happened, yes, from now on it's going to be different, you know? So this is 10th and 11th. These are 2 days when we are trying to transform our fears. We go to this older lady in the forest, this witchy lady in the forest, and we ask her, and yeah, let's remember how in all these fairy tales, how are we supposed to act around this sort of energy, right? We are supposed to be honest, we are supposed to not be scared, to stay neutral, to not be judgmental, and we're supposed to recognize that this is something important that's happening now. We are supposed to pay attention. But if we stay strong and go through all the little tests that usually these witchy ladies put us through, more often than not, we get everything that we ever wanted, right? We get like everything that we desired for, and we go back to our own reality, and we change our life completely, right? Remember any fairy tale about the witch that lives in the dark woods and how people go there and what happens to them there. This is the archetypical story of the Black Moon and how to work with her. Yes. So this is going to be the main moment. And then on the 16th, we have a square with the moon in Aquarius, which means that our new values are going to be tested in some way, in one way or another. And there could be a certain tension with collective and with collective consciousness. It could be that your new idea, you have like a great new idea, but it's not accepted by your collective, you know. So this is not a moment to give up or to think that everything you've done was useless. No, this is a moment to stay strong. This test is in place in order for us to actually try to feel it for ourselves. Like when we just get new beliefs, there is a certain time frame. A certain time needs to pass until we personally believe that, you know, until we personally start to understand that, yeah, this is true, this is happening, this is new me. And very often this is the first kind of test. The collective is testing us. Are you sure that you are this beautiful new person who deserves all the love? And of course the right answer here is yes, I'm sure. You know, like, yeah, I know I'm not a raccoon. Yes, this is me showing you that I know I'm not a raccoon. And there is a certain element of just accepting things the way they are and seeing that everything that you done until now needs time to change, right? So these people who used to see you in a certain way, maybe they need time to understand that you've changed and to start treating you differently. So for you, it's just like to continue doing your thing, you know, to continue loving, to continue giving yourself and the reality that surrounds you even more and more love. Okay, on the 18th, just 2 days after, there's going to be a certain relief that will come also through collective unconscious. It's either like some good dreams or maybe again, like a good feedback from your online community, you know, or maybe you get in touch with some offline communities, which also give you a nice feedback about your new values, or you see the reflection of what you've done, of your positive change in the collective surrounding you. And then on the 20th, 22nd, this is going to be kind of like the fixation of the change that you created for yourself. And we have the Venus opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus, which means we're going to receive some new insights from subconscious. This is why this winter solstice kind of days are superb to actually shift and fix the new, right? So we are getting this Uranian insights from our subconsciousness about what it is exactly that needs to be changed in our hearts in order for prosperity and abundance to be present, to be there for us, right? So if until now we already did some work with our fears, with our distortion about ourselves, with our perception of who we are, and we already clarified this new beliefs, like for example, if until now I believed that I am a poor person who doesn't deserve to be rich for whatever reason, like rich people are bad, this is like a family belief, could be, right? Or maybe the money is dirty, or I don't know, whatever you have them. Let's say during the next 2 weeks until 20th, 22nd of December, you work on that and you try to really understand that these beliefs are not helpful and they are not going to bring you anywhere in life. And you allow yourself to actually believe that you deserve to be rich, and maybe if you're rich you're going to do so much good in this world that you will even make your grandmother proud, you know. And maybe if you understand over this 2 weeks, right, you work on this values and you work and then around 20th, 22nd something happens, some insights that come from your subconscious. And Uranian energy is like a lightning bolt. It's something that, you know, this eureka moment when we finally kind of things just snap into position and you're like, okay, this is what this is, you know, like I know I'm worthy, I can do that, and I know that I deserve, and I know that this is exactly what I'm going to do. Let's say if I get rich, I'm going to open a charity fund exactly for this particular reason, you know. So you have an insight on everything comes into place, everything snaps together in place. Right, and then on the 25th, there is another trine with Neptune in Pisces, which would be a chance for many of us to feel the unconditional love of the source in our hearts. And this, of course, will bring a lot of relief. Let's see what happens on a global scale on these days. I mean, it is a Christmas, right? 25th of December, which is funny. I mean, funny but not funny. Everything is, coincidence but not a coincidence. And then just try to feel what comes to you on that day, because that would be more truth than anything else, right? That would be more right, aligned with the light and love and the truth of the infinite abundance of the source than any of our small distorted beliefs about ourselves. And then on the 29th of December, Venus finally moves into the Sagittarius, and our hearts get into the place of expansion, party and joy and happiness, and getting ready for the new year, I guess. But of course also there is a reason why Sagittarius goes after Scorpio, right? It's like every time when we go through hard and difficult times in life, in the end there is a benefit. There is a if we honestly go through them, if we don't try to hide and run. If we just look the issues in the face and we actually do the transformation and work which needs to be done, then in the end there is always an expansion, there is always a vibrational boost where we get the chance to go to a higher place, we get the chance to develop, to grow, to expand, exactly, to become kind of more of energy, more of love, more of light, more of perfection, to stream more of the perfection of the source, which we actually are, the spark of the divine, this infinite unconditional love, right? So this is it for the transit of Venus through Scorpio. Now, when we get down to recommendations, what I would recommend is basically 4 things. First, when we deal with shadow territory, when we deal with Scorpio energy especially, walk willingly. Like, look into the darker areas of yourself with love. Don't hide and don't run. Remember, you are the creator, and empower yourself with the knowledge that you have a right to recreate yourself in whatever manner you see fit. And this is your life, and you are allowed to live it happy. You are allowed to be content. You are allowed to manifest this reality according to your own creativity and joy and curiosity. And universe has infinite abundance. It's just about how much are you letting in. Let it in, go in willingly, transform all the parts which bring you suffering into something that gives you light and supports you on your way. So second thing is embrace the transformation, because it's actually it's just actually feels good to get rid of the junk. I guess everybody did that, right? Like when you clear out the old closet and get rid of all the stuff that you've been, I don't know, keeping for ages, and then finally you get rid of it and you're like, wow, that feels so good, why didn't I do that earlier? This is that transformation that I'm talking about. This is what Scorpio kind of gives us, allows us, even though it is a lot of work and most of it is not going to be like pleasant, but in the end this work allows us to give this sigh of relief in the end, say, wow, that feels so good, because you are freeing space for something new, for something really good, for something that new you with new values, right? That the new values basically means new you. That means that you are getting to a new timeline where you can attract all those things instead of this old junk. There is space now, so you can attract new things which are more according to your vibration, which are more pleasant in general, right? But also they are allowing you to develop and grow and walk a path of your evolution further. And then third is take support. So if on the way you feel like you need to get in touch with your friends or some professionals, some people go to psychologists to do the shadow work, some people go to, I have a friend, Claire, who, if you want, I can give you her contacts. Let me know in comments if you would like that. And she does the shadow work with people, helps them to go through difficult times in life and to accept some parts of themselves. And don't forget that you are not alone. Take the support of those who's around you. Take the support of practices which are described in, let's say, yogic text, right? And whatever helps you, whatever tools are there to you find useful, whatever tools you think are good for you, Like for some it's meditation, for some it's to go out dancing with friends. Do that and lean on that, follow your heart. And the fourth one is remember the truth. And the truth is that all of us are sparkles of the divine, pieces of the infinite source. All of us are pure consciousness, and we are just playing this game. And make it fun. Make it fun for yourself. Make it fun, make it light, make it happy. So these are the things I wanted to talk about today. I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I will always be happy to elaborate on any of the concepts that we discussed today. Now with this meditation, we are going to try and explore what exactly this Venusian transit through Scorpio over the next 3 weeks is going to mean for you personally. I'm going to guide a little bit of a journey. All you need to do is just close your eyes, get comfortable, and allow your active imagination to connect you to your deeper subconscious and bring up some tips and hints for you to consider. I would recommend that you sit straight, you can also sit with crossed legs or to put your feet just on the ground. That's up to you, but your back, most importantly, needs to be straight. And close your eyes. We are going to do 3 deep inhalations, and with each inhalation you are going to go 1/3 deeper into your own center. And with the first inhalation you go 1/3 deeper into your own center, and with the exhalation you stay there. And with the second inhalation you're going 2/3 deeper into your own center, and with the exhalation you stay there. And with the third inhalation you're going into your own center, and with the exhalation you anchor and you stay in there. Now imagine yourself to be in a circle room with 12 doors around you. In a minute we're going to search for a door which takes us to the caves. But before we do that, I invite you to look at yourself and with the power of your imagination to dress yourself in such a way that you would feel comfortable in a space of underground tunnels and caves. Whatever comes up for you right now is exactly right. Trust your subconscious and allow your imagination to help you out with what are you going to wear now. And do that now. And if you see so fit, you also can imagine that there is an assistant coming with you, someone who can help you with any situation. That could look like a person that you know or don't know. That could look like a magical creature or an animal. Or that could look just like as an energy, a presence which is by your side. But most importantly, in the presence of this assistant, you feel absolutely and totally safe and protected, no matter where you go and what happens. And now look around you at all these 12 doors that surround you and find the one which takes you to the caves, to the underground tunnels. Come closer As soon as you find the door and open it and step into the space that takes you down into the belly of the earth. And immediately you start descending. You're going lower and lower. While you are going down, register what your body is feeling in this space. What are your feet standing on? What are you walking on? What can you hear in this space? What does this space smell like? And finally, what do you see while you are descending, going lower and lower, deeper and deeper through the tunnels and caves down into the center of the earth? Trust your subconscious. Whatever's coming up is exactly right for you. And at some point you descend so deep that you finally reach the hole, the cave, the space where in the floor there are holes, and through these holes you can see the lava, the fiery magma flowing under the floor and shining its reddish light through the holes in the floor and shedding shadows and sparkles everywhere. And now somewhere in this system of hallways, halls and caves, you need to find a very beautiful woman. Just search, walk through these halls and look what you can find. Check everywhere. Again, trust your imagination, your subconscious. Whatever you're seeing is exactly right for you. And at some point you are finding this archetype of the very beautiful woman. First of all, let's introduce ourselves and say thank you for an opportunity to be here. And now if you have questions regarding what it is exactly that needs to be transformed over the course, the next 3 weeks, in your heart, in your love relationship, in your relationship with manifestation and attraction, in the area of your self-esteem and self-worth, then you can ask these questions now and listen to what she has to say. And now maybe she would like to give you something that could look like an object, or that could also look like advice, a word of wisdom, or that could look like an energy that just builds somewhere inside of your body. Just accept everything with gratitude. And ask her for advice on how exactly you can receive the most benefit out of the next 3 weeks, and look what she shows you or what she has to say. So now let's thank Venus for all the advice and help and the opportunity to meet here. During the next 3 weeks, you can come into the space to meet her again if you need any additional advice or help. And now start slowly, say goodbye, and now start slowly moving towards the entrance into this cave where we started this meditation today. And as soon as you get to the tunnel, you start ascending now, going upwards. Up, up, up. Higher and higher. Until you reach the point where we've entered this space today. And before you cross the threshold and go into the circle room with 12 doors, say thank you again to this whole space for an opportunity to get insights. And after that you can cross into the circle room with 12 doors around you. Now bring the focus of your attention into the physical room where your body is present at the moment. What do your hands feel? What do your feet feel? Move your fingers and toes. And as soon as you're ready, you can open your eyes. So, everything we see in this meditation is your subconsciousness trying to send you a message. So, while interpreting it, try to look at it as if you're playing a game of charades with someone you know very well. Everything you saw there is exactly what you needed to see. So your job is like a detective, or like when you go through the quest to understand the riddle and to try and sometimes intuit, sometimes logically understand, sometimes we can Google things that we see in there to try and comprehend what this message was all about. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. I'm always happy to help out as much as I can, but remember that this message is for you. So the best interpreter, the one who understands better than anyone else why this message is the way it is you. Well, good luck with the Venus in Scorpio times, and see you in the next video.